The secret use of magic has devastated the lands of Osho. And the ages long, wow, I'm just going to start that all over. Hi, this is Jared from The Broken Seal, and this impressive box in front of me is the Ignite pledge that I got from Kickstarter. It was a while ago. COVID happened, and it finally arrived to our door. This is ridiculously big. Look at this. So we're gonna look into all of this, see what's going on. I'm gonna go in order: base pledge, the expansion, the freeze, and then the expansion, a new enemy. If I remember correctly, which again, it's been a while. I also sometimes I look up this stuff beforehand so that I can talk more about it when I go to do these. But I like, coming into it a little bit fresh because then you get to see an honest reaction to it. I think this one was a dragon. Yeah, obviously you can tell from the box art from there. But let's go ahead. Oh, also I got the sleeves for all of this that came with the Kickstarter. I don't have those on screen right now. Maybe I'll take a picture of all of them, but there are also a lot because this is a lot. So let's just go ahead and get into this. Hey, so we got all that out of the way. You can actually see me now. It's great. So we're going to go into the base pledge now. This is just the starter or the base version of the game. I'm pretty sure that I got miniatures. I don't know if that was a Kickstarter exclusive or not, but again, we'll go through it. We'll find out. The secret use of magic has devastated the land of Oshos, and the ages-long peace has been shattered. You are the field commander for one of the land's greatest races, leading its warriors into battle. Only one race can reign supreme, and likely, only one can even survive. In Ignite, you battle miniatures across a variably built board. You must use the battlefield's terrain, your race's unique ability, and your purchased weapons, spells, and equipment to bring victory over your enemies. Will you become a highly mobile army using mounts to move in and out of conflict in a moment? Will you use the right combination of bows, arrows, and quivers to rain down arrows from afar? Will you be a powerful spellcaster, freezing enemies in place and calling down meteors from the heavens? Will you be a barbarian force, using powerful melee weapons and brute strength to slash through enemy units? Will you be an opportunist, pushing enemy units into lava pools, sending fire through their forests, and shooting lightning through their rivers? Just remember, your enemies can see every purchase, and every strategy has a counter-strategy. Between the variably built board, the unique race abilities, and the multitude of available cards, every game of Ignite is vastly different. So one of the main things that I remember when I went to go back this was that the damage for your figures are little daggers that you put into the back of them. You can see that up here. So that's kind of cool. And I know one of the expansions that I got was because it added additional races, which is, I figured, that's something that we want to do anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and dive on in. All right, so we're starting off with the rule book. The rule book is 23 pages total. Not too bad, though it is still fine print, but we have some diagrams and stuff, so probably won't be too bad. Also, we have some two-player rules, which is always good because that's mostly what you're going to see. Most likely, at least. We have a friend coming over who we haven't figured out what we're going to play yet. This is a card glossary. Oh, this is cool. This is like a little scoreboard you can keep, so you can mark down who is the first winner of each race and the first winner at each player count, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 8. First winner By game type, first unique trophies, and first to get the number of trophies. I like that. It just adds a little extra that has no gameplay impact, but it's something you can, like an achievement in an Xbox game. So Kickstarter exclusives, we have the Centaurs. Some additional lore and additional card glossary stuff. Then we have our cardboard. Got some water minions, some explosions, maybe some ice here. Good material. I mean, it's cardboard. It's pretty much what you would expect. Nothing like special or fancy. And now we have our minis. So, first we have our pandas. They are cute and fat. Are these pandas? Alright, so yeah, I was right. So first we have our pandas. I really like the artwork. They're cute. Then we have, let's see, Ratmen. Now these could be cat folk. Yep, cat folk. These kobolds. Lizard men. Here are our centaurs. Very cool. These are also really cool, like detailed along the backs, which I'll have a picture of, but along the backs they have the slots for the daggers, for the damage that you take. These look like humans. I'm never going to be a human unless it's like some kind of random thing or some special thing that we do with you guys where you pick what we are. But humans are boring. Kitsune. Their dagger placements are along the tails, which are funny. I wonder how easy that'll be to slot. I think these are the elves. At first glance, it's not super easy to see. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. And they're supposed to be dwarves. Are these them? Yeah, so we have dwarves as well. I'd say out of all of them, the dwarves look the least like appealing. Because even the human and/or elf one, the figure looks cool. The dwarf, who usually, you know, they're super clad in armor and that's like their specialty, they just look kind of meh. But that's just my opinion. Everyone has their own. We've got some crystals. There probably should be more dwarves. I don't know where. The rest of the, oh, here, there's two more there. That's to the side for right now. Then we have our board pieces. So the backs are, they look mostly generic, at least for these, like town looking ones. And then we have some double-sided generic terrain, like this one has some forest, some lake, some green land, some burning lands. Same thing with these. and similar. Like these are a mix between like maybe city or towns. This one has, and actually it's funny. It looks a lot like the Incarnate artwork. I don't know if you've used Incarnate or not before, but they are a fantasy map maker um, that you can get a subscription to and make fantasy maps. This looks similar to it. And then we have some of our cards. This is a very cute panda card. It's called Little Helper. Only the player with the fewest number of trophies may possess this card. At the end of your turn, draw one additional card. And then maybe some terrains in the back. Let's see. Oh, so these are like thick cardboard cards. And I think these are the races, like the race card specifically. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I was right. The humans are the ones with the shields, like the round shield that I picked up first. And the elves are the more ornate shield that are longer. And let's just grab, well, let's take this out first. We got some packing material, some randomizer cards. We don't need to get into those right now. And let's get some actual card. See what those are like. So this is, ironically, the first card card pack I picked up. Has a little card from the developers, the Gingersnap Gaming, saying that they love seeing you play our game. It's such a photogenic game, it'd be a shame not to see pictures of it, with a whole bunch of their tags for social media. And then a little ad on the back for Rocket Cats. Rocket Cats is a programming party game in the vein of old 2D turn-based artillery games. For 1 to 13 players, that's a lot. But onto the actual cards themselves. They feel really nice. And the artwork is really nice as well. We have a water minion. Choose one of your units. Choose one of your units and summon a water minion into an adjacent water space. The minion may move. Movement 1 and 2, and attack, range 1, damage 1. Once per turn, each minion has 1 hit point. Very cool. I'll say this, not knowing anything more about these cards, the card text is very simple and doesn't look like there's a lot of room for ambiguity, which is really the crux of our hobby. For instance, I just found out that there was a change to... Apparently Google heard that. Anyway, apparently I just found out there was a change to Kemet, and the one card that has the 5 damage but 2 undefendable damage, or 5 attack but 2 undefendable damage, actually makes you lose 2 troops, as opposed to making your opponent lose 2 troops on top of the 5 damage. And going through the threads on Board Game Geek, you found out that that was a card from the original version that had an expansion, and in the expansion it specified it, but somehow when they released Kemet Blood and Sand, they didn't specify that in there. The French rulebook had the actual clarification in there, but it wasn't in the English rulebook. So that's something new that we have to throw into our Kemet games. So I say all that to say, it's just our hobby has a lot of specificity, especially as games get more complex and more heavy. So I like looking at this and seeing things that, at least at first blush, doesn't seem that hard. And then we have bases for our armies, so that you can tell your army apart from the other people on the board. They're just plastic, nothing special. I'm most likely going to be green, black, or white. It's funny, if you follow the channel, most often I pick green as my player color. If black is available, I always go with black. And my preference actually is black, white, and green, any of those three, because I just really like the colors for some reason, especially for cards, like when I sleeve cards. So most of the ones you see on our channel are just clear sleeves because they're for a specific game. But when we do actual card games like TCGs or etc., I usually try and sleeve those specific for us. So that's why Madi usually gets pink. I usually have green, black, or white, or whatever's available. Like for the Kickstarter thing we did for Soulforge Fusion, I used red because we had a lot of red katana sleeves. I had never used them before. I just wanted to see what they look like. I'm also just rambling right now. If you're still watching this, that's great. You just get to find out a little bit more about me. Next, we have some clips for our, I'm assuming for the cutouts, like if you have minions and stuff, or maybe like the fires that you start, maybe you can say like, this is my fire, or I know for the minions to be specific, but those are just other cardboard pieces. Something that I love to see in any game is just a bunch of bags. That way I can organize all this stuff without having to dip into my own personal stash of bags. And they're good quality bags too. Then we have our damage. I don't know why there's a white one. There's like a handful of white ones and a whole bunch of red ones. The red ones I know for sure track damage. Don't know what the white ones track. But let's test out our damage tracking. And I'm going to test it out on the Kitsune because that's the one I'm most curious about. Where are we at? Kitsune. Okay, so I was wrong. Obviously they did testing on this stuff, but the Kitsune damage tracks very easily. And that's about it. I'm not going to open up all the cards because there are a lot of them. I'm just going to... So yeah, we just have a bunch of cards, which ironically... Maybe these are like starting things, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6. So 6 at least versions of this quick reflexes. Not sure why. Once we get into the game, I'm sure it'll clarify. Maybe these are just starting hand cards like I thought, but we'll find out. Anyway, that is the end of our base pledge unboxing. If you want to stick around for the rest of it, I love it if you did. But we also have timestamps you can jump around. But that's all for this one. If that's all you got and that's all you want to look at, you're good to go. All right, so now we're going to look at the Freeze, the expansion for the Ignite. If you skipped ahead, you're at the right spot. The Great War of Oshos has been going on for a full year now, bringing with it the harshest of winters, the likes of which hasn't been seen in over a millennium. Meanwhile, the land continues to succumb to the increased use of magic as plains become barren fields of ice and corrosive acid pools ooze up from the ground. The Freeze expands on the world of Ignite, introducing new and incredibly powerful races, terrain, and card effects. Hex cards are introduced, clogging up players' decks and becoming transferred between them. War machines make their way onto the battlefield, instantly killing but requiring time to build. Players can now afflict each other with poison, taking life from their victim turn after turn. Modifier cards allow normal weapons to be used in powerful new ways. New board tiles include Snow, which slow units' movement, and Acid Pools, which corrode equipment, requiring cards to be discarded. Orcs now run free across the battlefield with extra hit points. They are difficult to take down. The Fallen Valkyrie have been cast down by Odin and are extremely efficient at blocking attacks. I didn't say it for the last one, but 2 to 8 players as well. I think it was 15 to 20 minutes. Let me double check. Yep, 15 to 20 minutes per player. Which, in all honesty, if that is actually true outside of teaching and learning how to play the first time, 15 to 20 minutes per player, 2-player game would be about 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. That's pretty good. Hits the sweet spot for our group specifically. Especially for a 3-player game, would be about, 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm liking it. Anyway, let's dig on it. So the Freeze Ignite rulebook clocks in at 15 pages, double-sided, with some glossaries. Actually, a lot of glossary. So if we cut out the glossary part, it's only 9 pages. I am a fan of a long glossary because that means that they went through and detailed all of this stuff, which should cut down on confusion during play. Less running to Board Game Geek to try and figure out specific rules. So, Kickstarter exclusive card. We're looking at 10 Avalanche battle cards, 1 Avalanche randomizer, 1 Avalanche divider card, and 1 Shaman Chieftain title card. Shaman Chieftain, transfer any number of hex cards from your hand to another player's hand. You may give them all to one player or spread them across multiple players. Draw 1 card from your deck for each hex you give away. You can give hex cards away multiple times throughout your turn. Nice. So these are our war machines, it looks like. We have some orcs. Are these the Valkyrie? Because they look like Kitsune. I also just want to point out that the Kitsune artwork looks a lot like Naruto's, what was it called? His Sexy Jutsu, I think it was called, where he transformed into women to confuse his enemies. I don't know. I'll put a GIF in it, or a video clip rather. Anyway, so same cardboard-like material. Not bad, but good. We've got some tiles. I do find it a little ironic that the tiles in this were wrapped, but the tiles in the base game weren't. These have the pools of acid, and then the ice as well. And some of the other effects that we're used to seeing in the base. By which I mean I saw 2 minutes ago when I was looking through stuff. Even more baggies. You gotta respect a game that gives you baggies. They know what you're going in for. More daggers. Again, don't know what the white ones do. Although the white ones are doubled, so maybe it's 2 damage at once. Then our green poison daggers. Our Valkyrie, which have clipped wings, which is really cool. And our orcs, which are just massive. I want to see how big they are compared to the base game sets. Also, the orcs take 4 damage instead of 3 damage to kill them because of their size, I'm assuming. Yeah, so the orc card units die after taking 4 damage. Any weapon or war machine that does damage equals 3 only does 2 damage. And Valkyrie, the player may discard any weapon to block a melee weapon or any pure spell to negate a pure spell. Cool. Cool. I don't know if these are our organizers. Most likely they are. Yeah, they're organizers. Still good artwork. Just looking at stuff. The one that made me turn my head was the Where is it? Aerostorm ability. Just looks really cool. And let's look at our actual cards. Took a lot longer than it deserves, although I cut all that out for you guys. So we have a whole bunch of hex cards. Card material is the same as the base game. I'll tell you what, Digimon did spoil me a little bit. Digimon cards are very, very sturdy and thick. These are average card size thickness, so it's just it was really nice having hard, thick cards, and then getting back to these, which are probably more environmentally friendly and a whole lot more fiscally friendly, I'm imagining. But nonetheless, let's just check the bottom. Nothing down there. If you're new to the channel, I always check the bottom and the top of the boxes because sometimes there's artwork there or bonus cards that are just really nice. So it's like a fun little secret that I like to make sure you and I are aware of. So that's the end of this one. We're going to cut over to the new enemy expansion for Ignite, and I'll see you then. Alright, so now we're looking at the last expansion that I got. The Ignite a New Enemy. I think there was more. I don't know if I went all in or not, but I'll double check and put it at the end after all this. But this one, I'm pretty sure I got because it added a dragon. I think it makes it into a co-op thing. We're going to find out right now when I flip over the box. An ancient magical force has revealed itself to the lands of Oshos. It blankets land with its minions, seeking only to destroy any and all life it finds. A New Enemy allows Ignite to be played as a solo or cooperative game for 1 to 8 players. Players will seek to stay alive as waves of enemies crash against their defenses. If players survive long enough, an ancient foe will appear. Each game is different from the last. Variable board setup and card market, new power cards drawn each turn, smart yet simple enemy actions, unpredictable minion locations and type, 6 different difficulty levels. So yeah, it comes with the Elder Dragon. It says use the dragon in competitive games using the included Dragon Potion battle card. Nice. This one does say 1 to 8 players, but it's 60 to 120 minutes, probably because it's specifically going after, this one enemy. So our new enemy rulebook clocks in at 19 pages. No real glossary in this one, so it is just pretty much how to play it. Good artwork though. Gotta love good artwork. We've got some more tokens. This one didn't have a Kickstarter exclusive thing to it, so I guess everything in here is just pretty much what you would get if you purchase this. Of course, I don't remember if this was a Kickstarter exclusive. So we've got some more damage trackers. Again, not sure why the white ones are doubled. Unless they, oh, you know what? The thing I was thinking is that they might be for the thick cardboard ones that I saw. Like they had specific ones for the races, so you could maybe track stuff that way. But at the very least, this one doesn't have any of the thick cardboard ones, so I can't test it. But anyway, we've got some more organizers. We have 1 player round cards. Since this one doesn't have as much stuff, I'll open up these. As a random aside, I hate when cards are packaged like this, when there's a really thin set of cards wrapped up, because almost always I end up messing up the cards along the edge. But anyway, so we have our organizers, 1 player 1 player round cards, enemy cards, 2 to 6 player round cards. These can come off. The dragon potion item. Choose one of your units to become a dragon for your turn. Discard a card to either move, movement 2, or to use a fire attack, range 1 to 2, damage 1. You may discard multiple cards for multiple effects. So this one allows you to transform one of your units into a dragon. And then we just have apocalypse cards, power cards, and 7 to 8 player round cards. You might be thinking to yourself, Jared, why didn't you go for the dragon miniature first? Obviously, that's what we want to see. I started with cards. I don't know. That's all I have for you. So our cards. I feel like these are probably, yeah, these are like maybe the AI cards for the monster dragon and his minions. They are numbered on the back. No, not entirely sure what the numbers are for. Some of them are different. Those are like buffs, I guess, because yeah, so like this one, Ice Blade, enemy melee attacks that cause damage also freeze the unit. So a lot of enemy cards, as you would expect, since that's what this expansion is for. Then we have some things that we can purchase. There's a wind sword, a standard arrow, acid arrow. There's a catapult, dragon potions, and that looks to be about it for the cards. Got some dice, a D6 and a D20. Yep, D20. Single baggie, because they didn't really have much in terms of cardboard components. And then the pièce de résistance. Our dragon, which looks like it still only has 3 damage it can take. Unless these little holes in its wing are also damaged. In which case that would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I don't think so, because this one's deformed looking. Does look cool, though. And that's everything. If you sticked around that long, great, thank you. I love that you have watched our content, or at the very least skipped around enough to be able to get to this part. So that's everything that I have for Ignite. So yeah, this was the All-In Pledge. Now that I know it, I'll update it, or not update it, I'll have it in the description, All-In Pledge unboxing. And thank you guys for watching. Until next time. Bye.